Hello, good morning. I'm Robert. Nice to meet you both virtually. Today we're going to take a look at a quick little lesson on verbs and verb tenses and a way to present this lesson in a less boring manner. Okay, so why does the student need to know this? Generally speaking, intermediate students have developed some confidence, but they're still a little reluctant. Most intermediate students like to think a little before they speak. They rewrite things over and over again. So we want to try to push them further. And this is kind of a fun way to show verb tenses as a practice. And I'm sure they pretty much know the basics, but this lesson can be exploited to go even further. So let's take a look at our lesson on the next slide. Okay, welcome students to our lesson today. It's called the silent story. It's silent because I'm not going to be doing the talking. You are. So let's take a look at our little pieces of clip art here. What do we have? Some primitive drawings, a train, a landscape, an activity, McDonald's, a couple of burgers, fries, Coca-Cola, and looks like somebody's not doing very well. So this is our little story right now. Something happened before, and something happened after this little story. And you're going to tell me what happened. Okay, so let me show you a quick demonstration of how this is played out in the classroom. Okay, so this is the silent story, okay? And I wanted to be an artist, and I showed my guidance counselor my picture, my beautiful artistic picture, and they said, you better be an English teacher. Okay, so what this is I'm the teacher, and I'm not going to say anything. And you're the student, and you're going to tell the story. Now, I want the story in the past tense, okay? So, I'm going to go like this. Yeah. Pronoun. Yeah. He. Took the train. Yeah. Okay. Pronoun. Yeah, you climb down the other side. Good. Pronoun. Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay.
And this is word, verb.
Okay, so as we can see from our demonstration here, just by taking a very simple story, the student gets to practice many of the verb forms. We focused on the past, and this can be set up previously to, let's say, today, or as we did in this particular story yesterday, or tomorrow, or with a year marker such as 1999 or 2020 or 2 years from now, getting the student to practice all of the different verb tenses. Now, initially, this is done as a group, and this can be done in person or virtually. So students don't feel singled out initially to respond on their own. We can let the group leader kind of lead the pack and bring everybody up to the same level. Now, after they've done that a couple of times and they feel confident, it's good to call on individual students and see how well they're progressing. And they can tell the story in its entirety, or one student, one picture, depending on your group and their confidence level. We just don't want to single anybody out too early. That's not good for their confidence levels. Okay, so what we've done is we've taken the student from single sentences in speech, and we're moving into creating a situation where it's actually a paragraphic speech, where they're able to tell many component parts to a story at one time. Now, as an example, this is just the beginning of the lesson itself. After they've done this orally, you can have your students write the story. And as I said before, something happened before this and something going to happen after this. So the student can expand the story to talk about what happened 10 minutes before, or what's going to happen an hour later. Okay, so now we've taken this from a speaking lesson and we've exploited it to a writing lesson. Now, there are other options. Um, as you saw in the demonstration, we had a chance to practice our pronouns as well. And usually this is not a huge deal. However, some languages, there are no pronouns for he and she. It's the same. And they make a lot of mistakes with that too. So this gives them a chance to do things in English where we have both he and she and so forth. We could exploit it even further by talking about adverbs. Let's add an adverb in to our actions. We could talk more about compound complex sentences. Again, finishing the story. It could be either presented orally or written. This kind of operation could be done in pairs or individual work. And then, of course, students have to come back and share what they have come up with their creative story. Now, this is just the beginning example. Students can create their own story using clip art, or maybe photographs that they've put into their computer, telling a story, especially for students that come from a different culture. This is how we learn about different cultures and language and holidays and all of those things about all of our students, regardless of where they come from. They get to share a part of themselves to the class. And that makes the world a better place for all of us, the more we know about our global community. So this lesson in itself is just a real quick, fun way for students to tackle a very boring topic of verb tenses. Okay, so that's it for this slide, and we'll do a concluding piece on our next slide. Thank you. Okay, so that's our little quick demonstration today, and I hope that answers the questions that you have. I have a couple of quick questions for you. I'm basically concerned about who your students are and where they're going. So, do you have a one group of students that's predominantly from one cultural area, or are you a mix, we are the world group? And where are they going from here? Are they matriculating into your programs, going elsewhere? What are their wants and needs, and how can I best give them the tools that they need for their future education programs? So again, thank you very much for the opportunity to interview with you today. It was my pleasure to put this little video together for you. Thank you, and I hope to hear from you again. Bye-bye.